that listen to this new album, and let me tell you something. You're not gonna believe me. You might listen. I know. You may have some preconceived thoughts about Taylor Swift, and I want you to be aware of something called confirmation bias. It's when you hold the belief, and so you're gonna do all in your power to confirm it, either to confront it. It's confirmation bias. So if you think Taylor Swift is bad, when you listen to her music, you're gonna think it's bad regardless of the quality of it, right? Because confirmation bias. So without of the way, and so I can defend myself for any attacks, I listened to the album, right? And I gotta say, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I really didn't like it. So yeah, that's about it. There was one song that could have been pretty good, and it just did not. It's something about cats or something. I don't know. It was so dumb. But if you do want to have some fun while listening to our music, what you do is you watch the music video of the ghost. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about if you watch the video. There's one of the music videos. Oh, I might pop it up. I'll pop it up or something on the screen. I don't. Man, why did I make myself edit? Anyway, I'll pop it up on the screen, and that's the music video I'm talking about. Watch that with like mute on, and I think it's pretty enjoyable. Just don't listen to music. Just watch the video. At least the first like 30 seconds, if nothing else. It's pretty fun. Because you're desperately trying to figure out what's happening, and you have very little to go off of besides the video. It's pretty crazy too. You killed my horse. I'll kill you. Excuse me? Get him. That reminds me of a meme I have. It's they took my bunnies, so I took their no, they took my honey, so I took their lives. That meme. I was scrolling my phone. I saw I had that. I forgot about it. You quick scope nerd. Oh my god, such a good terrain, man. I just want to keep fighting forever on this terrain, man. It's great. Please give me some straight. No, you're not Yorgalect. Wait a second. Wait a second. If you're here and I'm here and you're here, did I just take a quest? What the what just happened? Did I just get scammed or something? If I'm here and you're here, I can tell where King Yorgalek is by these guys, I think? That or they're just going nowhere? I mean, am I dumb or is... I thought King Yorgalek was the king of the Vakirs. Or am I just so boosted? Am I just really boosted? No, I'm right. Am I not fighting the... Oh, it's a Boyar. I'm dumb. I see. That could be dumb. Are they going back? He might be going back through. I don't know where the king is anymore. I lost track of him. Do you still want to go this way? You do. Why? That's concerning. I see. Trying to siege my castle, are you? Well, you don't even have a king with you? That's sad. Now my horse is slow. Great. Hmm? Oh. I will give you a little excerpt from a story I just remembered. I am what one might call dark humor. I am one which one may call a fan of epicaricacy. I am one who finds humor in the suffering of others. Am I a monster? Yes. But that's not the point. Point is that I was talking with someone, and I believe they understood about my humor, hopefully. That I traumatized them, probably. And they were describing me the time they were in the hospital. No, they're describing to me a time where they were sick, really sick, and the suffering they went through. And man, it was very funny. I loved every word of it. It was great. That's what I get. I deserve that. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know. But I deserve that. I deserve that. As I was saying, I loved every word of it. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was great. It's very funny. It was like I was aching in bed all day, and I felt, oh man, it was really good. It's like the way they described it was really good. It's like I couldn't move out of bed, or I'd get hurt. Oh man, it's so funny. It's really hard to be dark humored and also not get put on a list if you're talking to someone about it. Because if a dark humored person's real honest about the things they find funny, it's not gonna go well for them. Like, I only told you a fraction of some stuff I find funny. Because if I told you the whole thing, that wouldn't go well. You know, I don't want to get put on a list. I really don't. You know, I laugh because I would cry otherwise. That's my excuse in court. You can take that one if you want to. Just give me a credit on the citation page. Or cross your fingers behind your back where I'm saying it. Or something to that degree. I don't know. Just, you know, do whatever you want to. I don't care. The free market or something. I don't know. Why'd you steal that back? It's the free market. It's like, well, yeah, we're capitalism. All right. I think that's a really good excuse for stealing something. It's a free market. Can you argue with that? What's the argument to that? I can't think of anything. That reminds me of I was learning. My math teacher was telling a story. And he had some kind of student aide or someone. No, maybe some other kind of teacher that was supposed to be in there helping too. And while he was teaching his subject, one of his students who would always sleep in his class was sleeping once again in his class. And he said, hey, you know, keep your head up. And he said, why? You know, Mr. Douglas over there is sleeping. And he said, I looked over and he had his head down. He was knocked out. And he was just like, you just lie your head back down, man. Just go back to sleep, because he couldn't say anything. I know what my teacher said. He was shopping for a car. And the car salesman he was with he said, I'm gonna be honest with you a lot. He said, if someone says that a lot to me, I'm gonna assume they're not very honest often. If they have to declare it before saying it. Yeah, I'm free to go. You're cool, man. Man, this music's so calming. I mean, I guess this music in particular isn't calming. It's calming me, though. A simpler time. A more mountain bladey time. Also, I might as well tell a little bit more some stories and stuff. So, I'd probably never say this, but now, I mean, like, you know, self-incriminate myself. I mean, oh well, I mean, what's the worst that could happen? My school had a library. Library? My school had a library. Believe it or not, and I read some books there. So my English teacher had us pick out a book to read. The book I picked out was so I picked out Mein Kampf. You might know who the author of that is, but I picked that book. Now you might be wondering, hey, you know, that's an interesting book you picked out. You know, a lot of books to choose from. Interesting they chose that one. You know. And I'd agree with you and stuff. So I chose that one, right? Listen, I wanted to know why. Well, what can I call him? Because I don't want to say his name because I think his name's banned. The German dude. I'll call him German dude. I want to know why the German dude disliked certain minority groups so much. So I wanted to read the book to understand his viewpoint, right? Then I was a fan of World War. I still am a fan of the history of World War II. I find it very fascinating, interesting. I know a good bit about some World War II history, and so I wanted to learn stuff about it, right? Upon checking out the book or showing the book to my teacher, she said, "Dear God," in quotations, or maybe it was "Oh God." It was something with God in it. She said, "Dear God," or "Oh God." And so I started reading the book at school. You know, the one good thing about Mein Kampf is if you're reading it, no one seems to want to talk to you or mess with you at all. It's an interesting effect, really. So I read that book. Interestingly enough, he pointed out some good points. Wait, hold on. No, listen to me. Listen. Don't go. When I'm saying good points, I mean the beginning of the book. He didn't talk about. I'm talking about the beginning of the book. This isn't talking about the hatred and all that stuff. This is just other stuff. And so he talks about his life. His dad died, and his mom died very early in his childhood. His dad wanted him to be a state worker, but he wanted to be, I believe, an artist. And his dad didn't really like that, but his dad wouldn't really come to see any kind of artist being made because he'd die. He would die before any of that would happen. And so the German man would attend these, I don't remember exactly, but they were government meetings, like Senate sessions, because he lived in Austria-Hungary. And the country at the time was very split up, had many different groups of people, and was not very centralized. By the tone he talked about his country, no one would say, I'm Austrian Hungarian. They would say more like, I'm Austrian, or I'm Hungarian, or some kind of other group they had. I think Bohemia was part of it as well. But they had, or maybe that's Germany. Might be Germany. Anyway, there's a lot of different ethnic groups and a lot of different cultures and languages in one country. And that doesn't really go well for any country ever. And so he would sit in on these hearings and listen to these people talk. And the more he listened, he realized these people know what they're talking about. So that was kind of interesting to learn about. Also, he talked about this thing. He said, when you read a book, do you memorize the book? No, that's not the goal of it. When you read a book, you should try to understand it. For if you understand a book, you do not need to know what was written in it to give the message of the book. You just know it because you understood it. If you, like, for example, he gave an example of a priest. Some priests will memorize the Bible. But if they understood it, there'd be no need to memorize it. Sorry. I think, that's something he talked about, but I think the exact example he gave. If two people are arguing, right? If someone understood a book, they wouldn't need the book in front of them or to memorize it to highlight the points of the book. They would just know it because they understood it. So when you read a book, you just try to understand it, not memorize it. For if you understand it, you don't need to memorize it because you know the message of it without needing to look at it again. I think that was an interesting point he made, and one I still believe in. The only point I believe in. Okay? He went on to talk about his hatred, and when I say his hatred of certain groups of people. He started talking about it, and to be honest, it was a bunch of BS. Like, I don't know, I have no idea at all what he was talking about. He was like, they look different. I'm just like, bro, I can't tell. Like, what do you mean? They look different. They don't look different. Are you crazy? I could tell a difference. They look different. They smelled different. They tasted different. I added some lines there, just so you know. I was like, man, what are you talking about? And so I stopped reading at that point, not because of that hatred talk, but more because it just got really boring. It was a really boring book after a couple of chapters. So yeah, that was the author of Mein Kampf, which is My Struggle, I believe, in German. I might be wrong though. It's been a while. I have no idea. But he talked about his hatred, and maybe he talked about it more later. But his introduction to his hatred of the certain group, it didn't make sense. It just didn't make. He didn't give any good reasons, and it didn't make any sense to me. And so I still don't get it to this day why he had that hatred. Like, someone can tell you, but you don't know if that makes sense. They can tell you why you hated them, but like, it wouldn't be him telling you why he hates them, which would allow you to understand it more. But I guess when it comes to hatred, it's really hard to understand it in the first place. I remember one time I was playing, and I talked about the, I can talk about it now. I was talking about the Will Smith, Chris Rock thing when he slapped him. Well, like, I really don't like covering current events. I don't know why, I just don't. I like talking about them. Yes, I don't like news. And so I was just like, I boiled it down. And because I didn't use names, if anyone ever listens to what I was talking about, they have no idea. Right? Because I didn't even say their names. I'm like, listen. Because it's really dumb. The Chris Rock, Will Smith thing. It's really dumb. Okay, first off, right? When it happened, they were in Japan. And by no... I don't know